So we are talking about trends, and I would like to highlight one of the fact here, or the reality today, is that even if you are comparing all these Android, iOS and other platforms, you see there at the first place Symbian. That is the largest device base that you have today. Like the red bubble that talks about is basically total number of handset shipments since it has been launched, what is there in the market, and the blue part is actually what is in use. So if you look at it, it is still considerable compared to like your BlackBerry and other small platforms that are coming up. So if you are looking at something that has to be today, this is still the platform that you cannot ignore if your application is a consumer mobility application. So these are like kind of feature phones or Symbian based smartphones as well. So that was one thing that I just wanted to highlight. But now, knowing all these trends and everything, if we have to embark onto the mobility, or we have to put a very good vision or a roadmap for, or a strategy for a mobility, there are lots of tough parts. Technology, of course, is an important thing, but I don't think technology is such a challenge compared to all the other things that we have. Like say, for example, the way we think about our business processes. Like most of the times we have seen people just doing miniaturization of what you see on the desktop. When we have to mobilize a website, what we do is that just take left pane, put one page, take middle pane, put second page, take right pane, make third page. That is not what it is going to be. So changing the thinking, the way we look at mobility and make use of that mobility innovation is going to be a key. Apart from that, like if you look at like what kind of audience that we have, and we look at like BYOD kind of trend, like bring your own devices, so you have wide variety of devices to be supported, what kind of form factors, what kind of hardware support, what kind of connectivity support, what kind of region that you are looking at it, all of these information is going to be key. On top of that, security is something that we can implement it technically. There is no rocket science there. We can come up with whole lot of algorithms and things like that, and we can claim it is like foolproof and all of that thing. But at the same time, the way we use our phones, we don't want to be watched at every moment. We don't want to be controlled by my IT team, like with every moment, with whatever I do and all that. I'm not comfortable. I'm comfortable today working on my mobile phone only because I have freedom. I feel I have a freedom that I can do whatever I want. When I'm working onto it, nobody's seeing my screen. That could be something that sits into my back of my mind. So how do I translate that kind of thinking when I have to couple it up with tight security, integrity, or integration with the backend systems, and what I make available and things like that. So that kind of thinking would be very important. The compliance that we make for those applications and devices with the enterprise policies that we look at. And at the same time, if we look at like this emergence of cloud and these kind of technologies, how we make use of it, what we let go where, which cloud, private, public, in-house, out of, all those things. And again, on top of that, most important thing that all of us cannot ignore is every enterprise is a unique enterprise. So everyone has a different need. There could be reasons that, like say, for as a healthcare company, I might decide I cannot give my data out into the cloud. But there could be solutions that I can set up the cloud in-house. So are we thinking about these things? Are these the possibilities that are being considered when we actually put forward for a mobility roadmap or a vision that we are looking forward to? These are the things that we wanted to look at it. With this slide, I will only give you a small brief of what mobile operating systems that we have in the market today. But again, to make a statement, iOS is the most popular operating system today, apart from Android. Android has a fragmentation, as we discussed all of them. But iOS, Android being the major part, the other two platforms that we should be actually focusing on to, or looking at it as a maybe a dark horse or something like that, is probably Windows 8 RT or Windows Phone 8, and at the same time BlackBerry. I'm really not sure about BlackBerry. That is my personal opinion, even though we are like premier BlackBerry partners. BlackBerry 10, they are heavily betting onto it. But then Windows could be something that could be a real hit going forward because of like lots of features that are being stuffed in, and the kind of solutions or features that they have on the operating system level itself, with deep integration with Office suite or solutions. That could be something a real killer. We don't know it yet. We will have to wait and watch. If we have to compare the Android, Windows Phone, Apple, iOS and BlackBerry operating systems, from the feature list of like as an enterprise, when we look at it, the built-in security, authentication, the data protection, or the device management features, or firewall, certificates, virtualization, all of that, BlackBerry still scores very high, followed by iOS platform and then the Android platform. Windows, we are not still seeing it so much. this is all based on the literature that they have on the website. We haven't really seen the examples of like it does that much as BlackBerry or iOS operating system does. One of the best thing about iOS operating systems is that they have got a very good sandboxing features, which is like very hard to crack in a way. Of course, there are jailbreaks available, but as a general user, it is not so easy to crack compared to Android applications. Android applications throw open a lot of stuff. Like, say, for example, if you just connect your Android phone with any computer, it just turns it into a USB drive. That's a good feature that phone supports, but at the same time, it opens one door that anything can come and sit in over here. So that kind of features and things like that, if we have to compare.